Hi everyone, I am here with a true story. Angels and Wonders, True Stories of Heaven on Earth. This one has a quote before it by Luigi Santucci, and it's Cain's Angel, and it says, "Whether you think of us or not, we are with you. Oh, baptized in the uncomprising and definitive way. Willed by God, always, always, never distracted, never on vacation." And this story is called Guardians in the Jungle. I believe this has to do with angels in war. Stories of wartime, angel sightings abound. George Washington allegedly saw an angel at Valley Forge. And often told, World War I events involved the Angels of Mons and the White Cavalry, white-robed beings who rode along among the British troops and stopped the advance of the German armies. God, remember throughout the Bible, God says he will go out with you. If God wants something done, if he wants to help you, it'll be done. Even if he sends angels to help, it'll get done. Even if that's angels helping fight in an army to get you guys to win. Ask the Israelis that. God helped them many times with their army to bring down so many rivals. After Israel's Six-Day War, a study circulated about a convoy of jeeps carrying Israeli soldiers being waved onto a route by two men whom no one saw except those in the lead vehicle. When troops went back to examine the main road, they discovered it was heavily mined. Angels warning them not to go down that road or they would have died. Were angels active in Vietnam too? Guys, angels are all over the world. So please don't think only in America do we have angels. They're all over the world. For we are all God's children. He made all of us. He made the whole world. We are all his children. And we all have a guardian angel. And he can send extra angels to help us. He's got plenty. He will tell you that. He's got plenty of angels. They're all over the world, not just here in America. God's children are in different countries too. Not just here in America. Coag is sure of it. In 1947, when Coag was a teenager, his uncle offered to send Coag and his own son to Paris to study to become wireless operators. So Coag left his wealthy family in North Vietnam and joined his relatives in Saigon. While waiting to go to Paris, Coag attended a school run by the Seventh-day Adventists. He learned English, attended a Bible class, and eventually converted to his faith. When Coag's uncle heard about Coag's conversion, however, he was furious, and he threw his nephew out of the house. By now, civil war had broken out in Vietnam, so Coag could not return home. The Adventists took him in, let him sleep on the classroom floor, and gave him work to do. This was quite a change for a boy raised in luxury, Coag says, but I decided that if Jesus, the Son of God, hadn't minded doing manual labor, why should I? The church people were very good to Coag, and he saved enough money to go to Singapore, and later Bangkok, where he became a lab technician. Eventually, he won a scholarship to the United States to study medicine. By that time, the Adventist church in Saigon had asked Coag to help them start a hospital there. They had been so kind to me that I could not refuse, Coag explains. He worked with the doctors and learned a lot, but by the time he left, he could not leave for the United States. The Vietnamese government wouldn't give him a visa. Instead, Coag became the hospital's administrator. During these years, Vietnam's long-fought civil war had inflicted great damage on the country. Now the United States stepped up its involvement, no longer acting simply as adversaries, but sending troops as well. Fighting intensified. A few hundred miles to the north of Coag's hospital in Saigon was a resort town called Dalat. Beyond the town, farther into the mountains, lived some primitive tribes who spoke only their own dialect, and wore nothing but loincloths. A few had become acquainted with the Seventh-day Adventist in Dalat, and the church people had taught them to learn Vietnamese language as well as Christianity. Well, that's good. Good. Those natives had converted other villagers to this new religion. Now, as war escalated, these tribes were hard hit. Communist soldiers burned their houses, destroyed their crops, and killed and wounded many. Tragically, they were effectively sealed off from help because the route to them was too dangerous. The Viet Cong kept troops in the jungles to kill any foreigners they spotted. Quo Ag explains traveling into the remote area would be madness. But when people at the Saigon hospital heard about it, they knew someone had to bring help to the villagers. 4 volunteered: the American president of the mission, the Australian physician, a Norwegian nurse, and Quo Ag as interpreter. The Vietnamese pastor of the church in Dalat decided to join them too. "No one has ever tried this," one doctor objected. "You will be killed." "No," one of the 5 answered slowly. "God will send protection for us." The others nodded. You just gotta believe. You gotta have faith. Have faith that what did Jesus say? Have faith that whatever you ask in prayer is already done for you. Have no faith. Have faith. No faith. Have no faith for whatever you ask God in His name. If you're one of His children, saved, it will be done to you. It will be given to you. It will be done. Jesus says that Himself. Okay? They all felt the same. The journey was somehow blessed. First they prayed together. Then they packed a van with much-needed food, seeds, and grain for planting and medical supplies, and drove into Dalat. There Lay met a group of perhaps 30 natives who had come to carry everything the rest of the way. That's nice. Since the jungle trails could not accommodate a van, we set off and walked for 10 hours through the mountain wilderness. Quo Ag recalls, "The 5 of us certainly knew what extreme danger we were in. There was little doubt we were being watched by the Viet Cong, and we expected to be stopped. Other missionaries they knew had ventured into the area and had never been seen again. The Viet Cong had no mercy on those who invaded their territory. They reached the village safely, however. The natives confirmed their suspicions. A unit of about 20 army soldiers was nearby. They were heavily armed, looking for hidden guns or radios, and had probably watched the procession all through the jungle. It was just a matter of time before they emerged from the brush and arrested everyone. Quo Ag and the others weren't such a thing would happen. Hadn't they felt protected since the beginning of their journey? Hadn't they prayed without ceasing, as the Bible instructed? They decided to bathe and rest. We walked to a cold mountain stream, Quo Ag says, but as we stood in the refreshing water, the villagers came running in alarm. Behind them were Viet Cong soldiers. Grimly, the Viet Cong ordered the missionaries to get out of the water and stand at gunpoint. Then the soldiers ransacked their possessions, looking for radio equipment, ammunition, or anything that would indicate a connection with the government. They found nothing. Frustrated, one of the soldiers looked up. "Where are the others?" he demanded. "Others?" Quo Ag answered. "Do you mean the tribesmen?" "Not them," the soldier barked. "The others in your group." "There are others," there are no others, Quo Ag explained. "Only the 5 of us." Not 5, 10, the soldier was adamant. And his men nodded. "You come with us now." The other was 5 big angels protecting them. Quo Ag's heart sank. It was almost dark, and he was sure that he and the others were being taken away to be quickly murdered. But there was nothing to do but follow. Pray, 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 pray. Tell the hospital what happened to us, he advised the stricken townspeople. Then he and the others began once again to walk. Eventually they reached a campsite belonging to the Viet Cong. Instead of shooting them, however, the soldiers gave them food and sat down around them, and the story emerged. Those angels. As Quoag, as the others had expected, the enemy had sleethily followed them in their bearers all day long, planning to shoot them before they reached their destination. But the soldiers had not fired because of the other 5 tall people dressed in radiant white, who walked alongside the missionaries through their entire journey. The soldiers had been fascinated with these glowing strangers and could not stop looking at them. Where did they go? One asked, mystified. Quoag knew. What else could account for the strange feeling of peace, of safekeeping that had accompanied them from the start? But how could he explain angels to these men? After leaving the soldiers, the missionaries completed their job and returned to Saigon without incident. To the amazement of everyone who heard of their perilous trek, Quoag eventually married an American and now lives in Florida. No one ever found a trace of the mysterious jungle guardians, but he believes they are still on the job. Because they were angels. God was having them protected. And those people were too afraid to go up to them and murder them, or what they would do if they did. Those glowing creatures in white. Angels. Hope you guys enjoyed the story. Good night.